Just like it keep like a yellow light.
Okay, I see.
I can
So
see
for
for
many folk tales that are passed from person to person, they all begin in the same way. They begin with a line, once long ago, or once upon a time.
Okay, got it.
Right, so it's the kind of story that is passed down from generation to generation, which means the grandmother or grandfather tells it to the father and mother, and the father and mother tell it to their children. It's the kind of story that gets told at dinner time, and it's the kind of story that gets told around the fire after dinner. And many of these folk tales go back a long, long time before people even had a lot of books. So they didn't have books to give to each other. So how did they tell stories if they didn't have books?
He passed down.
Exactly. That's why they're passed from person to person, because these are poor people, right? Eric and his papa don't have a lot of money. So they probably don't even have a lot of money to buy books, even if rich people at their time had books. So they tell their stories in person.
Got it.
Folk tales. Do you know what that word means? Folk, F-O-L-K?
Nope.
All right, I will tell you. Let me come back to point of view and just come down to the bottom here.
Like, I think it rhymes with
Folk tale. Tale is the same thing as story, so we'll just get that out of the way right now. But folk is from a German word, comes from a German word. Germans capitalize their nouns. The German word is Volk, but the Germans pronounce the V like an F. And do you know what folk means in German?
no.
It means the people. So a folk tale equals the people's stories, or stories from and by and for the people. Let's say from and about and for the people. That's even better. So there are stories that come out of a whole people. And so you can say there are English folk tales, there are German folk tales, the German people, the English people, there are Chinese folk tales, there are American folk tales. Stories that come out of the Chinese people, stories that come from the German people, stories from and about and for the people.